Good morning and welcome to another pre-market review session with the market trader. My name is Ray, the market trader. And before we get started, we'll need to run through our risk disclosure. So let's go ahead and do just that. All right. So let's see here. All right. So just want to remind everyone that the content that's being published and distributed by the market trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice and offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. We all understand that the use of this information contained herein is to be used at your own risk, and the company, its partners, representatives, agents, employees, and contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. Future trading does carry a fair amount of risk. It's not for every investor. Investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation or offer to buy, sell futures, options, or forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right. Now that I've gotten through the risk disclosure, just wanted to. Good morning, Aslan. Hopefully, I'm coming through loud and clear. I'm just going to pause here if wait for that confirmation, and then we'll move on to the news portal. All right. Thank you, Aslan. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the news portal here and see what news we have in store today that could have an impact on the markets. Now we are very much in earnings season. Okay, so we have a number of earnings that are on the docket to be reported today. So we have General Motors that is they're reporting earlier today. We have Coca-Cola, we have Lockheed, all reporting this morning. Okay. And then we have basically some Fed members speaking. We have Fed member Waller speaking here on a couple of occasions. We have some sort of results of some sort of innovation conference, and then we have again close the day with more earnings. I guess the most notable of note probably being Netflix. Okay, as we look ahead in the week. Right, we start to again. We have the crude oil inventory report, but I would say that the bigger one is coming up on Friday. We have core CPI, a year over year, month over month. We have services PMI, manufacturing PMI, composite PMI, and then some sentiment on inflation coming from Michigan. So Friday, I would say, is probably the biggest day with respect to news that could potentially impact the markets here. All right. So now that we've gotten through the news, we'll go ahead and turn our attention over to the charts. Okay. And we'll take a look and see what we can kind of what context we can arrive at with respect to the markets. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and bring this up here. We're kind of taking a peek up here at silver on behest of another trader here. So, okay, so here we are. We're going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings here. We're going to go ahead and start off with our normal market, and that's the gold. Good morning, Faye. We're going to start off with the gold market again. It looks like we are a little bit of a sell-off here. It looks like. Okay, let's remove some of our drawings here. All right, so we're starting to see maybe a little bit more in the way of range kind of price action. Looks like we are having or continue to have some difficulty getting above 4,400. Okay, that remains kind of a line in the sand here to get above. Okay, so this is 2 out of the last 4 days have been bearish, right? And the bearish candles have been of the very quite strong variety. Now, with that said, we remain above our 9 EMA, right, indicating that we are still in bullish structure, but we are seeing some signs maybe that the momentum to the upside is slowing to some degree. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the 4-hour chart. Looking at the 4-hour chart, you can see that we have created a little bit of, I would say, a little bit of a double top here, right? So we kind of have a little bit of an M pattern that's being established here. So double top in this case, we have this is our top, hit the 4,400 level, came back, tried it again, hit the and found the same type of participants. Yeah, silver has been a mover of late, and if you find yourself in the right direction on silver, much like the gold, you get rewarded, right? And the nice thing about that is it does move quite nicely here. Okay, so in any case, right now we see that on the 4-hour chart it appears to be in some sort of range. Maybe if we do manage to get below, let's say 4,200. Maybe we're in for maybe a leg to the downside. Now that's certainly a possibility here, but right now we seem to be in some sort of range. We've over the last I don't know 16 hours or 12 hours we've been booking bearish candle after bearish candle after bearish candle. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at the 30-minute chart. We'll try to see what we can glean there. So again, no surprise here that we seem to be in some sort of bearish structure in this market. We're going to go ahead and open up the visible range volume profile just to get a sense of where price is in relation to value. And you can see that we are at the lower end of value. All right. So again, if we are thinking that we still remain buyers of this market, we are coming into some areas where we could expect to see some responses from the buyers here, right? But until that happens, we need to, I guess, align ourselves with the general direction of the market. And looking at it from the 4-hour and from the 30-minute, it seems that general direction is to the downside, as unlikely that sounds. We have to kind of follow the footprints that the market is leaving us. Okay, so let's take a look at the fixed range volume profile. Okay, let's take a look and see where price is in relation to yesterday's price action. All right, so we're going to go ahead and drag that to the close here. All right, so here we are. There it is. Okay, so you can see that price is well below, right? Well below value from yesterday. I'm going to go ahead and draw in my value area low. I suspect that area right there, around 43.37, could offer us maybe a location where we could see a potential continuation in this price move. Right now, as you can see here, we're making lower lows and lower highs. I have kind of a modified VWAP here. Okay, so this right here is VWAP indicating that if price is below my VWAP, my sentiment on the market is a bit on the bearish side. No worries, Michael. It happens to me all the time. That's why we have such a variation on the start times here. Okay. All right. Okay. So we have, we're below value. All right. We're going to go ahead and take a peek here at the initial balance ranges, and we'll take a look at see what Asia was able to do. It seems like Asia was able to do quite a bit with gold today, based on the initial view of the charts here. Right. So you can see here that we did, okay, so it's a little bit on the big side, but in any case, you can see, right, we can see that price offered us a really nice extension, right? Really nice extension to the downside here. Okay. So you can see that, nice little break to the downside, right? Nice little break to the downside. We tried to make an attempt here to head higher, and eventually it cratered. Okay, it cratered to the downside, well beyond. Let's even measure this. It's so impressive here. So if I'm going to go ahead, this is 200%. Okay, if I extend that line, that's 400%. Okay, and if I extend that line one more time, that's like a 600% move from initial balance. Okay, 600% move from initial balance here. So quite the move in gold here to the downside. Okay. So let's take a look here and see what London was able to do with this. But I suspect it was relatively the same. Let's go ahead and confirm that nonetheless. All right. So looking at London, you can see that that was also to the downside. Okay. So London and Asia very much aligned. Okay, with the general direction here. Asia led the downward move, and London has followed suit. Now, looking at this area down below here at 42,208, that's a 200% extension of this move lower, right? As much as I'd like to, participate, okay, and looking for an opportunity, maybe back to the upside, this level here around 4,200 could offer us maybe an opportunity back to the upside here. Okay, we are a bit extended to the downside, and the market doesn't stay extended in one direction for very long before it wants to kind of address that, right? With a rally back to 9 EMA or rally back to the VWAP. Okay, that's certainly a possibility. If I'm looking to participate in this to the downside, well, you know what my answer is. I can't participate at the lows, but I need some sort of pullback, right? Back to some sort of level where I can manage my risks to participate in a potential downside move in this market. All right, so let's take a peek and see what kind of initial balance range is establishing in the gold market at the moment. Is it wide? Is it narrow? Okay, so right now we have a rather narrow range. So the longer we stay in this narrow range, the more likely we are to see an extension of the range. I would say, as much as I think that the market is going to continue to the downside, I feel that there's going to be an opportunity here where price is going to at least rally up to the 90 EMA and possibly up to VWAP. Again, we don't stay in one direction. I guess the market can stay in direction, but the feeling is that we don't go vertically in one direction, that at some point there's a little bit of a relief, in this case, a relief rally, right? So we're coming into some areas, right? 4,200, right? That could offer us maybe a location where price is going to be supportive. All right, so we're going to take a look here. I'm just going to open up my ADR levels. I suspect we've already exceeded them by a lot. Holy cow, right? So we've already exceeded our ADR ranges here by quite a bit to the downside, right? So the question now becomes, so this level here also offers us another kind of target location for any sort of rally we might see in this market, okay? So this level here around 4309, 4310, could offer us another location for a continuation move to the downside. Okay, very strong, Aslan. Very strong. Gold and silver almost move as twins, just like ES and Nasdaq. Okay, a lot. All the metals move very similar to each other. Okay, so copper moves very similar to gold as well. Okay, very correlated markets. All right. All right, so headed into the session here, guys. Okay, headed into this session, it appears that we are in some sort of bearish structure here in the gold market. On the higher time frame, we seem to be in some sort of range, right? We have a lot of overlapping candles here, right? Overlapping candles here on some of the higher time frame charts. So yeah, the question now becomes, do we get some evidence here, right? So this is a prior ADR low right here. Okay, so this is an area where we could potentially see a little bit of a rally, sort of a little bit more of a mean reversion kind of opportunity, maybe back up to the 9 EMA or to VWAP itself. Okay, so market, I would say gold right now remains a little bit on the bearish side, especially on the shorter term time frame chart. We'll have to wait and see what kind of what kind of candle formations we form here, what kind of extension we get on the initial balance range to decide which direction we want to take this market. Okay. All right. So that's kind of what I have for the gold market. We'll go ahead and take a look at the crude oil market. Okay, here. So taking a look at the crude oil market, looks like it found some buyers here off that 56 level. Okay, so we mentioned that 56 was going to be an area where we could find some support, and so far on the daily chart, looks like we have to some degree found some price buyers have found some interest in participating in this market at these levels. Okay, so market still remains in some bearish structure. I'm not necessarily fooled by this move just yet. Right, we are very much in bearish structure here. To the downside, right? We're below our 9 EMA, and there's probably, if I were to add my ribbon of other EMAs like the 250, and we would probably be below that as well. We do have a developing bullish engulfing candle, so that's something to make note of. We'll take a look here now at the 4-hour chart. Looking at the 4-hour chart, you can see that maybe we created a little bit of a double bottom here, right? I'm going to turn off the initial balance here for a second. Okay, so you can see here we created maybe the beginnings of a little bit of a W pattern, right? You see a little W pattern. So that could open up the door. I don't see, based on this move right here, that there's really no reason for it to stop necessarily. I mean, it has runway all the way up to, say, 59 before it could see some slowdown, before we could see some sellers here. So crude oil on the shorter time frame is starting to show signs of some sort of strength to the upside. Let's take a look here at the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart, again, we're starting to that staircase action that we talk about all the time, right? And look how the 9 EMA, again, is serving as this nice lazy lion location, right? For participation of this market here. All right, so let's take a look at the fixed range volume profile. And the fixed range volume profile will go ahead and compare Monday's price action with what we're seeing right now in the market. All right, so we'll drag that across to the close here. All right, so we'll wait for that to develop. Okay, so you can see that price is well above value from yesterday. Okay, so indicating that there's a fair number of folks in the market who are interested in participating in crude oil to the upside. All right, so we're going to go ahead and mark this off as green because I suspect that this area is going to be a supportive area. So right around this 57 level, I know that we're well above it, but should price come back down to this 57 level, the expectation is that it's going to be somewhat supportive. Okay, right now we just bounced off the 9 EMA. We're still well above our VWAP. Okay. So it'll be interesting to see if we continue this move to the upside. We're going to take a look here now at the initial balances across the various markets here. Okay, so again, we'll start off with the Asia market. Okay, you can see that Asia was really a little bit on the range side, right? Didn't really offer anything. And again, London has come in and to save the day once again. Right. So here we are looking at London, right? We're going to take a look at London next. London was able to kind of rally the market higher, right? Okay. So we reached the 100% extension. We've actually reached, let's see, I'm going to make sure that I have the 200% turned on here. I do. Okay. Looks like we've exceeded the 200%. Is that right? Yeah, it looks like we did. So we've exceeded the 200% extension of this market here to the upside. Yes, London does indeed love its crude. Okay, so yeah, it's probably like pretty close to 400% move to the upside. So much like the gold on the opposite is that we do see that the market is a bit extended here to the upside. All right, so we have I would say some market sentiment at the moment here to the bullish side. I'm kind of looking to the left to see what kind of runway do we have for this move here. Well, like I said, we don't see any sort of opposing resistance to this move until we get up to about 58.60, 58.70 here, right? This is a prior IB low. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this area here, right? This is from a few days ago, but I suspect that this area right here could offer us some area of resistance here at 58.72, right? And we do see that volume delta or volume seems to be aligned with the general direction of the market. Okay, so as much as I've been bearish On the crude oil, I'm starting to see maybe some signs that maybe we found some buyers here in this market. Okay. All right. I think so. Headed into the market, I would say that I think we have to be on the bullish side of this market. I'm going to take a look here. Yeah, nice IB high that coincides with 9 EMA. Yes. And let's take a look here. I don't think the initial balance range has quite opened up for the day yet, so we'll leave that alone for now. But yeah, nonetheless, we're headed into a session. I'm going to take a look at the ADR, see how much room we have. Well, it looks like we've reached the ADR high for the day. So it is possible, right, that we could see maybe a little bit of a slowdown in this market. The fact that we reached ADR so early in the session leads me to believe that maybe there's still more upside opportunity in this market. Okay. And then maybe if we do break above this 5780 level, that 5780 level could offer us maybe an opportunity to 5875. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the crude oil market. All right. So before I move on to the equities, I'm just going to again kind of put my little marketing hat on here and basically encourage you guys, if you're not already a subscriber, to subscribe. If you have not already, hit the like button, kind of communicating to me and to others how this analysis is supporting you in your ability to navigate the markets. Please do so. And yeah, don't be shy in leaving a comment or two on how this analysis is supporting your understanding of the markets. Okay. All right. So with that one additional like, we'll go ahead and continue here. Or 2 additional likes. All right. Perfect. We'll go ahead and move on to the NASDAQ, which I know is a market that everybody's interested in understanding. All right. So here we are. We're going to turn off some of these indicators here because these indicators, after a while, they cloud my ability to review the market. Okay. So you can see here that we're on the upper end of the range here. On the daily, looks like 25,307. Okay, seems to be kind of on the upper end of the range. We're developing a little bit of an indecisive candle since after Trump's tariff comment on these markets moves to. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just basically Europe's reaction. Oh, thank you so much, Michael. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Coffee on Michael. Appreciate you. All right. So again, we're starting to see again. We're at the top end of the range. Again, I would say that probably a little bit more in the range kind of price action. We still haven't been able to get above that tariff. I call it the tariff candle here, right? The tariff candle, right? So the question now becomes is, are we going to be able to manage to get above it, right? Or are we going to remain in some sort of consolidation range, right? Is this just going to kind of, with earnings season, are we just going to continue, kind of rotating in and out of the range here? Okay. All right. So daily chart, I would say maybe range to bullish, I guess. Looking at the 4-hour chart, again, you can see that we're in a little bit more range here. Okay, in this market, you can see that we are still technically above our 9 EMA. Our VWAP is starting to slope down. Our 9 EMA is starting to kind of flatten here a little bit. Okay, so the question now becomes: are we going to be able to get above 2,400? That's where we got to before the tariff announcements, and that caused the market to sell off here a little bit. Okay, so the question now becomes: can we get above 25,400? If so, then maybe we have maybe a rally in the works in this market. Otherwise, the longer we stay up here without making a new high, opens up the opportunity that we're going to run out of liquidity to take the market to the upside, and we'll rotate back lower. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at the 30-minute chart. Okay. And let's see what the 30-minute chart has to say here. We're going to go ahead again. I'm just going to remove some of our drawings here. Okay, so just kind of look at this. We're first of all, we're going to compare our fixed range volume profile here from yesterday's session here. We're going to drag this across here to the close, and looks like we are in some sort of range here, right? So inside the value range, we did attempt to get below value, only to find some buyers. Now we've come up to the VWAP, right? We've come up to VWAP. This could also easily provide us an opportunity for an extension to the downside, right? Assuming that we break below the 9 EMA and close, then maybe that offers us maybe an extension here to the downside. On the other hand, if we break above, say above this point of control, right around 25,320, let's say, that could also offer us a leg maybe back up to 25,360. So let's take a look now at the let's see, the initial balance, and we'll take a look and see what initial balance has to say about all of this. And we'll start off with the Asia market and see what the Asia market has to say about this. All right, so Asia was a little bit bearish, I would say. Okay, a little bit bearish in the market, right? So we had a nice extension to the 100% extension before we found a little bit of buyers. Now we're back at the initial balance low. Now the question becomes, are we going to find the same sellers that drove price outside the initial balance range, or have we exhausted the sellers to the downside, and we're going to maybe rotate back in sort of this range back to the upper end of this market here? Okay, let's take a look now at the let's see, London session. All right, so London again looks like we've kind of creeped. We're above our initial balance range, but can't say that we are, getting the volume that we need necessarily to extend this range higher. At least not at the moment, right? So as long as price remains above initial balance, I think we could still kind of look maybe for a possibility that the market could extend higher. Okay, if the market closes back inside the initial balance range, then we can certainly rotate through this range and maybe continue maybe in this range. Again, we are in the midst of earnings season, and that could potentially is what's causing the markets not to be overly volatile or overly directional, I should say. Okay. All right. So again, headed into the session, again, like I said, we've seen some price action that would indicate that maybe there are some bears kind of lurking in the market. We have Asia that was able to take the market lower. Now we have London, who's been able to actually get it above initial balance and maybe possibly looking to take the market higher. So we'll have to wait and see. We're about 25 minutes from the open of the session, and we'll have to kind of monitor this situation here. But I'm going to use this initial balance range, this 25,291, as a litmus kind of area to determine whether we're going to continue to hold and look for maybe bullish opportunities, or whether this is going to be a location where we could see price continue to move in the same direction that it's been moving for most of the overnight session. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at the ES here. Looking at the ES, we're going to go ahead and start off with a daily chart. Okay, daily chart, same kind of view here. Okay, you can see that the market is on the upper end of the charts here, right? Indicating that there is a little bit of strength here to maybe look for a continuation move to the upside. 6,800 continues to be an area of resistance to price. Okay, so the question now becomes, can the market manage to get above 6,800? If the market is able to get above 6,800, then we make our higher high and higher low. Right now, ever since we got this tariff candle, we've been grinding, grinding ever so slightly to the upside, but not in any sort of, I would say, not in any sort of initiative way. All right, this has been more of a grinding kind of move to the upside. 6,800 remains an area of resistance and something that we need to continue to watch. Okay. Taking a look at the 4-hour chart, we're going to go ahead again, turn off the initial balance range here for a moment and see. Okay, so looking at the initial balance, we can see, looking at the 4-hour chart, you can see that price remains above our 9 EMA. Okay, maybe giving us some indication that we could potentially see price continue to the upside. Okay, The only thing that I'm kind of a little hesitant on is that we are coming into this area, this kind of wall of sorts here around this 6,800 level that could potentially offer us maybe, one of these, peak above and fail, right? Kind of moves, right? That's certainly within the realm of possibility. I would say that if we do manage to get above the 6,800 level and hold the 6,800 level, that could serve as a springboard for maybe some further price action to the upside. Okay. Otherwise, given that we are in earnings season, there's certainly the possibility that we could remain in some sort of range until we're out of this earnings. Okay. Hey, Natalie. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the 30-minute chart here. Let's see what the market has been able to do in during overnight. So we'll remove some of our drawings. We'll do a little bit of comparison here on our fixed. First of all, we'll start off with our fixed range volume profile, and we'll see where price is in relation to yesterday's price action. Okay, and so right there it is. Okay, so you can see just like the Nasdaq, we are in some sort of range, and you guys know how I feel about range, right? Unless I have a really wide range where I can kind of maybe entertain the extremes of the range to participate, I usually sit on the sidelines for those kind of moves. Okay, so let's take a look now at the initial balance. All right, so looking at the initial balance range, we're going to take a look at the Tokyo. All right, so looking at Tokyo or Asia here, okay, and see where they were able to take the market. Similar to the Nasdaq, they drove price here to the downside before we got a reaction away from the 200% extension and value area low. Notice how these things are. There's a repetitive theme on these, right? Value area low offering us a reversal in price. 200% extension offering us a reversal in price. Okay. Tricky double break. Yeah. So it peaked above. And again, these are the kind of moves that I expect in the equities quite a bit, right? They lure you in, and only to reverse it on you. Okay. That's a trademark of the equities for me. Okay. So a little bit of contrarian thinking that needs to be made when working with equities. Okay. So in any case, the theme here is that we got a reversal off of the value area low, off of the 200% extension. Now we're back at IB low. Okay. Yes. Reactivate lazy line mode. Correct. So we're back at a lazy line area, right? We are here at the low end of the initial balance zone, right? So the question now becomes: are we going to get the extension or continuation of this move to the downside? Right? Right now we're above the 90 MA, we're above the VWAP, so we're probably want to see that it can get below it before we maybe entertain maybe a move that will continue to the downside. Okay, let's take a look here at the London here and see what London has to offer with respect to initial balance and price. So similar to the Nasdaq, I would say that maybe ES is a little bit stronger than the Nasdaq at this point, right? We got to move to the 200% extension, value area low. Price rallied above our 90 MA and is above our VWAP, giving us an indication maybe that there is maybe some more upside opportunity in this market. As long as if we use the initial balance range from London, we have to admit that we are in some sort of bullish market, right? The fact that participants were able to drive price outside of their initial balance range and remain above it. So this area here around 67, 69, 67, 70, it'll be an interesting area, right? If we are able to maintain it, right? If we're able to maintain it, that again is kind of another kind of lazy lion location. Okay. 67, 70 could offer us maybe an opportunity where price continues to the upside. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and move on now to the Dow. Okay. Before we do one final pass across all the markets and then one final appeal here. for maybe some comments and likes and things of that nature. Okay, so let's take a look at the daily. All right, so daily again. Here's our lazy lion. Not really all that lazy. He seems very happy. Okay, but in any case, the idea here is that we are at the top end of the range. We're coming up on some levels that we've had that have been resistant in the past here around 47,200. Okay, so the question now becomes: is the lazy lion going to wait for these levels, right? If are the lazy lions going to wait for these levels to kind of materialize and maybe offer us maybe a location for price to reverse back in the other direction? Okay, so this 47,200 is going to be an interesting level for me. Is this level going to serve as some sort of wall to price or not? Okay, let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. Looking at the 4-hour chart, kind of right now, it's kind of giving us the same kind of look and feel that we had with the when we were reviewing YM yesterday, right? We got a nice push to the upside. Price came back. I'm going to turn initial balance off here for a second. We got a nice push back to the 9 EMA, only for the market to continue to rally. Okay, so I don't know what happened to. There's my. So this is another kind of lazy lion location here. Okay, right around the 9 EMA, right around the VWAP. Right, this is kind of another area where we don't have to take all that much risk to potentially participate in an upside move. Right. We can use the 9 EMA as kind of a reference here. All right, so let's take a look here at the 30-minute chart. Don't want to lose my trusty lion here. All right, so here we are. Okay, so there's our trusty lion. He's probably looking for some locations here where he can participate in all of this. So let's make sure we copy this before we remove all our drawings. Okay. All right, so let's take a look here at the fixed range volume profile. Let's compare price action to what we're seeing right now, and you can see that price is in the upper end of the range. Okay, so we're getting a fair amount of volume here to the upside. Is this volume to the sell side or this volume to the buy side? Are we building up some volume to drive price higher, or are we building up some volume? Our longs maybe potentially exiting out of positions, and maybe we get a swing lower here. But right now, for me, it feels like since we are above the 9 EMA, we are above VWAP, it appears to me that maybe they want to take the market further higher. Okay, 47,000 still is in the horizon here. Okay, I have to keep aware of that. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the kind of run through these initial balance ranges and see what the various markets were able to do with all of these. We'll start off with the Asia session. And Asia, much like the other equities, drove price to, to 200 and maybe the 300% extension to the downside before it found some support. And the market has since been rallying into London and beyond. Okay, so let's take a look at London. London also provided us a is that a cup and handle? Yeah, maybe a little bit of a cup and handle forming, right? So this being the cup, right? This being the cup and this being the handle, possibly. Okay. They happen so infrequently that it's hard to really monitor them. But in any case, right now we are seeing price above our 9, above our VWAP. Again, I'm going to be looking maybe at my channel here, right, and see what kind of direction, right, we get. Right now, we're in a bearish channel. If I'm looking for a momentum move here to the upside, then I want to see price break this channel to the upside and maybe retest it and offer me an opportunity for a momentum move to the upside. All right. So let's take one final pass here across all the markets here. All right. So again, gold. Maybe because of some of the strength that we're seeing in the equity markets, we're seeing a little bit of weakness in the gold market. So I would say that maybe we've reached the 200% extension here on the London side. That maybe offers us maybe an opportunity for maybe a reversal trade. Okay, off of the 200%. That's certainly not out of the possibility of that it could happen here, right? So market, entering in the market, I would say that we can't deny the fact that we are a little bit bearish, okay, in this market right now, maybe because of some of the strength that we're seeing of late in the equity markets. Okay, that could be explaining why we're seeing the weakness in the gold. Looking at the crude oil, again, we're seeing a little bit of strength here, although that strength seems to be a little bit short-lived here. It looks like we are developing a little bit of a bearish candle here. I'm going to go ahead and open this up for the current session here, day session. All right, so we have that we're in the process of developing our initial balance range. We made an attempt. This current candle, if should it close below, then maybe our view may change, right, to maybe another leg here to the downside that could lead us back down to this point of control here around 56.67. I would say that this 57 level is going to be an interesting level because we've been above it, right? And we had a set of participants that drove price away from it. So it'll be interesting to see. Again, where's my little line here? This is going to be an area where I'm going to be watching to see 57. If it does offer us maybe a location where price could reverse away from it. All right. So that's going to be my little lazy line level. Okay. And then the equities, I would say the Dow and the Dow and the ES probably is showing a little bit more strength than the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ seems to be a little bit weaker in that aspect. We see that price is below our VWAP and kind of in the middle between our VWAP and our 9 EMA. Okay, so again, really hard to say exactly which direction they want to take all of this. I'm just going to take a peek at London, see how well we remain above London's prices here. Okay, so right now we're still hovering right around the edge of initial balance high from London. So again, as long as we remain above it, then that offers us an opportunity maybe for some upside opportunities in the NASDAQ. ES also offering similar kind of location, right? Again, nice location here around the 9 EMA, as well as the initial balance high, kind of offering us maybe a location where we could bounce from, right, that level. All right, so that's something we'll take a look at. And ultimately, the Dow, okay, I think was showing the most strength. We're still well above the 9. We're still well above the initial balance high from London. Okay, again, this area down below. If I can find him, where did he go? There he is, hiding. This area down below, initial balance high from London, right around, 46,850, 46,860, could offer us maybe a location for a bounce in this market. All right, I think that's what I have for you guys today, with about 10 minutes to spare here. So I guess just to summarize, I would say on the short term, we're looking a little bit bearish on the gold. I was initially thinking more bullish on the crude oil. I'm going to go with range maybe on the crude oil, and then seeing some signs of some bullish behavior, especially from London across the equity markets. So we have some markers there to see how well price remains above initial balance high in this particular case, to see if we are going to continue to see some momentum to the upside in the equity markets. And I think that's pretty much what I have for you today. Okay, so if you have not hit the like button, if you have not hit the subscribe button, if you have not left a comment or two, please do so on your as Faye would say, pay your tax, right? And we'll go ahead and close this session as we close all sessions. Trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. Okay, you're welcome, Aslan. Perfect. That's the idea. All right, guys, have a good day of trading. We'll be back again tomorrow.